Hey, what's up, team? Today we're going to be talking about the two trades that we took while trading live in the Discord server. I'm going to give you my thoughts and breakdowns on these trades and why we took them where we did. So number one is Amazon. This made the watch list because of the split that's upcoming. So we got that 20-to-1 split coming on the 6th of this month. The stock has started to run, I'm assuming, in anticipation of that split. So we've had a lot of upwards momentum on Amazon, and we were looking for that upwards momentum to continue, which is exactly what we got today. So it was a fairly easy trade from an analysis standpoint. Originally, what we were going to look for was a break of the previous day's high of day. However, given our pre-market price action, that pushed the stock up a little higher than the previous day's high of day. So we had to adjust our trigger levels accordingly. So we moved our trigger up to 24.50, and I even mentioned in chat that since we were getting this candle right here just before the open, I was mentioning this live, sorry. Since we were getting this candle here before the open, that you could go ahead and move your trigger up to 24.60, given that that level needed to be above the pre-market high. Either way, the concept is the same. We were looking for higher highs to be put in and a continuation trade topside. So we're going to flip this to the 1 minute time frame. Amazon opens up and goes immediately green, right? This is good. This is a good sign. This is kind of what we anticipated to happen, what we expected to happen, and we wanted to take the entry. We wanted to go in on this, but we don't want to chase it up, because if we're entering here, there's a chance we get stopped there. Or if we enter there, there's a chance that we get stopped there. We also don't want to trade in the first 5 minutes, so we're going to count the candles out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To enter long on this dip, it feels a little bit risky for me personally. So what I did was I waited to see, is Amazon going to hold up? The next candle went green, and the following one printed and started to go green just after that. So where I took my entry at was actually a little bit late. You know, in hindsight, I maybe should have just went ahead and taken the trade long there, right off the bottom, and caught this ripper up. That would have been beautiful. But what I was saying was I wanted to stay patient. I wanted to get confirmation. Plus, Amazon's contracts are expensive, right? And so what we had to do was go a little further out of the money on those contracts to even be able to afford a position on Amazon. So I waited for the pullback here. Okay, we got that. I waited to see if this candle was going to print green. It did. And then the next candle printed, and I went ahead and took the entry because this is now our baseline of support. So it's not much, but old resistance here became new support there, and we got the candle bouncing off of that support point, and the next candle that printed, we went ahead and took the entry. I sold this position pretty close to the high of day. I almost top ticked this one. Sold this position pretty close to the high of day for a nice move there. And that was it for me. That was the trade, right? So it was a long over the pre-market high at 29.50, which I said we can move that up to 29.60 given that this price action here. And we went long after we got confirmation of the bounce off the pre-market highs or above the pre-market highs for the move up to the high of day. So pretty base hit trade right there. It gave you another dip down to this, literally the same exact support point before bouncing even higher. I called this entry out. I did not take this entry, and that's because we were switching focus at the time to SPY. So you may ask, like, well, Gates, what other conviction did you have for this trade? There were a few things. I've already mentioned one, the fact that we waited for this to print green first before taking the entry. So that was kind of conviction point number one. Conviction point number two is that Amazon has this split upcoming, which is, it's a hype thing for stocks that split. You know, look at what Tesla did, look at what Nvidia did, look at what Apple did all before the splits. So, you know, we're kind of seeing that same momentum follow through in Amazon. And then the third thing that was happening is that Amazon was showing nice relative strength against SPY, and it did this yesterday as well, right? SPY yesterday. Well, let's look at Amazon on the 5 minute time frame. Amazon yesterday was green pretty much all day, just an all day mover. Whereas SPY, not so much, right? It was choppy back and forth. So Amazon was really on its own program, and then this morning SPY opened up, went green slightly, then red into low of day. And this is where Amazon was showing us something different. Amazon was showing us that it was staying green, remaining green, making new highs, whereas SPY was not. So we're seeing that relative strength on Amazon. So the relative strength, the split hype, the fact that it was making higher highs, and it held the pre-market high as a point of support were 4 points of conviction for me to take that Amazon trade long into the high of day. Now, I mentioned I did not go long on the second dip entry down, and the reason why is because of SPY. So I like to trade with market backing literally as much as possible. Even if a stock is showing relative strength, I still like to have that market backing. It's just extra confirmation for me. So what I decided to do was, instead of going long on Amazon, I decided to go short on SPY. And before we get into this whole dropped down right here, which I absolutely missed, I just want to mention that there was some news that came out on this candle right here, which is what was the onset of this drop, right? So this news was the catalyst for SPY falling further down. But that is not the trade that I took. So what I was looking at on SPY was a long idea over $416. All right, this was based off of, let me go to the 5-minute time frame here. This is pretty much just based off of the resistance points for the past 3 days. Right, so we got resistance point at the end of day here. We got resistance intraday, midday, I guess here. We got a little bit of resistance pre-market there. Some support in this area after hours on this particular day. And we were opening up right underneath 416. So what I said was, if we break 416, we can go long. We don't trade in the first 5 minutes. Or if we reject 416, we can look to short, and that's exactly what we did. So moving to the 1-minute time frame, here's SPY trying to break 416, and then boom, big rejection candle, and then the flush candle down into the low of day. This right here is your sign, that move down right there is your sign that SPY is rejecting 416. The momentum here is down. This does not want to go up from here. So we don't chase the move down. We look for the rally to short the rally, right? And it's the same concept as buying the dip on something that's breaking out. You don't want to buy the breakout itself. You want to go long on a dip, right? We want to go short on a rally. Same concept, just flipped. So understanding that we had intraday support right here at around 415.4, 415.5 area. I knew I wanted, let me just draw a range here. I knew I wanted to get a short entry in this area because old support here can become new resistance there. So I knew that if SPY pushed up, this is where I would want to take my short entry, somewhere close to this area for the move down into the low of day. And so that's what we did. Decided to go short on SPY as it started to push back up into this zone. And what I noticed was, okay, SPY started to push up, and then we're seeing red right away. So I jumped on this trade the moment that we started to see red, because what I didn't want this to do is just drop without me, right? So I decided to go right in on the trade, even though I wanted the entry up here. Decided to go in on the trade here with a stop loss in this area. You know, I think I mentioned 415.5 being my stop loss for the move down into the low of day. I probably sold a little too early, but we had some decent profits. So this is the move down. Here's our rally up. Took the short position on this candle when we started to see some red, and then sold that position as we got the move down into the low of day. Could I have held through and made some more profits? Yes, absolutely. Right? Could I have held through? I mean, even if you just look at the rest of the day, could I have held through and really made some more profits? Yeah, definitely. But then again, you know, we didn't know that this was going to be the result. This drop, we did not know that this drop was going to be the result of this news. So there's no way of seeing that, right? Hindsight there is 2020. All in all, base hit trades like this are what is going to make your account grow. You know, these small banger of trades, 1 to 2 trades per day, is all you need to make your account grow. You don't have to be hitting these, 100% plus gainers short on SPY. I mean, it's nice when it happens, if it happens, but it's unrealistic to expect to do that every day. What is realistic is to expect to hit something like this on a daily basis. Rinse and repeat. So in our 2022 1K challenge, we are up 8.79% on the day. Day 12 of the challenge, so we've already hit the 100% mark. We started with 1,000. We're now at 2.2K. We're going to keep growing this account and see how far we can get it. Hopefully be able to buy that sports car. Okay, thank you for your time. Press the like button for me if the videos helped you out. And I'll start trying to make some more of these videos. It seems like you guys enjoy whenever you not only get a text breakdown of everything, which I post here on a daily basis, but also, I guess, a visual breakdown as well. Okay, again, thank you for the time. Press the like button for me, and I will see you in chat. Take care.